Welcome back to another episode of the Monice Hour. I'm your host, Monice. Today we're going to be talking about 5 unspoken rules that society has placed on us that we didn't necessarily agree with or want to follow to begin with. Those rules talk about maybe your body or what you should and should not wear or your ideas of success and some more rules. We're going to dive in and break them down. And I'm also just going to tell you why those rules are bullshit and why I personally don't even follow those rules. Because, like, who even decided that anyway? Number one, so a rule that I honestly can't stand, and it's an unspoken rule, guys, but it's a rule that everyone has agreed to, and it's based in, fat phobia, I would say. But let's get into it. So, rule number one, dress code for your body type. Now, I hate the fact that based off of your body type, there's this whole idea that you shouldn't wear something if you're more curvy, if you're more voluptuous, if you are a thicker person, because one, especially for women, it's inappropriate, it's unacceptable, it's not professional, it's this, it's that, whatever. But inappropriate is the most common thing that people talk about when we are talking about body types and curvy women in certain outfits. So I'll give you an example. Growing up, I used to ask my mom, especially in high school, because in high school, a lot of the white girls that I was friends with, they were on the thinner side. I noticed that they would wear like the super short shorts. And we're talking the Hollister, the Abercrombie and Fitch, and the American Eagle shorts. And y'all know that those shorts were so short. Like, I don't know, they're like mini shorts. Okay. And in the summertime, it's hot as hell. My mom got me out here wearing Bermuda shorts. Bermuda shorts, y'all. It's hot. Them shorts goes to the knee. I don't want my shorts to go to my knee. It's hot. The Georgia heat at that. So I remember asking her specifically, why was it okay for other white girls to wear their short shorts? And it's not inappropriate because I noticed that a lot of white women, especially thinner white girls, they were wearing these shorts and no one's saying anything to them. And her response to me was, well, they're not as thick as you, or they don't have your body type, or they don't have all that butt that you have. And I remember just feeling away because as a 15-year-old, I didn't fully understand. And to me, I'm like, what does my body have to do with it? But also, I'm realizing that a lot of times, especially in the Black community, that is rooted in older men just sexualizing younger women and kids. So I understand that's also like a protection thing at the same time. But it's also rooted deeply into society, even as an adult, right? Where let's say 2 women are wearing the same outfit, but if one woman is more curvy and is hugging her hips and things like that, then it's deemed as it's inappropriate. She shouldn't wear that. She should wear something that's looser and less form-fitting and all of the things. And I have a problem with that. I have a sincere problem with that. The idea that an outfit can be deemed as inappropriate based off of your body type is honestly ridiculous to me. And honestly, it's just not fair. It's also rooted in fat phobia because you'll also see that thicker women and bigger women, especially if they're wearing a crop top or whatever, people will make comments like, oh, she has a belly, she has a this, why is she wearing that? It's too tight. Her belly shouldn't be out. But of course, if someone thinner is wearing it, I mean, hey, no one's saying a word. No one's saying a word. And I don't know. When you say it out loud, it sounds so problematic, but it is an unspoken rule. And a lot of people follow those rules. It's part of the societal norm, but it's bullshit. And if you're one of those people that judges people based off of what they wear and based off of their body types, you're the problem. I think you're the problem. Rule number 2, seeing people one way, seeing them as like one dimensional. The problem with society is that I feel like society and people in general like to box people up into one category one box, one label. If you venture out of any of those boxes or labels or lanes that you usually are in, it's a problem, it's an issue, and people are not used to you doing something outside of your normal. Not their normal, but your normal. So, for instance, if someone's used to you drinking coffee every day, but then you decide that you want to switch it up and drink tea, I'm pretty sure you're going to hear it from whoever is around you that's used to you drinking coffee. Why are you drinking tea? What happened? Who influenced you? Blah, blah, blah. It'll be a whole thing. And it's, this is a very small version or a small example, I should say, of what I mean. I'm going to give you guys an example. And if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. I'm going to give you guys an example for me when I deal with people trying to box me into a box. So for some reason, people see me as innocent, shy, or just kind of quirky, which I know I'm quirky. It is what it is. But because I'm quirky and because I have like a nerdy nature about me, I notice that people tend to box me into this like small little box. A person that's probably like boring, innocent, doesn't do anything. They think that I probably listen to like rock music or whatever all the time. I don't know. So, one of the most common things that I hear from people based off of my personality and what they perceive of me, not because they know me, but just based off of what they perceive of me and how they think I should be, this is how they react. So, one, I listen to rap music, okay? I listen to trap music. I listen to like hardcore rap sometimes, okay? Like the most gutter, the most trap, like the most hood music you could think of, I listen to it. And every time I listen to certain songs around people, maybe they don't really know me that well, or maybe they are friends or whatever it may be the case, it's like, oh wow, I didn't know you listened to that, or that's kind of weird that you listen to that, or wow, you listen to rap. Wow, I didn't know that. Someone said in my life to me once, you don't look right listening to rap music. What is someone that looks like rap music is supposed to look? I'll wait. I'll wait. So that kind of bothered me. I remember back then because I was just like, what is that supposed to mean? Or I curse sometimes, okay? I will literally say the F word and every other word whenever I feel like it, whenever I'm in a mood, and it'll come out. But the whole thing is you curse or you don't look right cursing. What is someone that curses? What are they supposed to look like? I'll wait. And so that is my definition, and not even my definition, but that's my example of putting people into boxes that they didn't ask to be put in. And for me, I think people just view me in a certain light. And it's almost offensive because I'm just like, do you think I'm boring? Like, I'm also a young woman. I'm 30 years old. Yes, I listen to rap, and yes, I curse sometimes. But be so for real. Be so freaking for real. So the problem with doing that and boxing people in is that it teaches people to consistently restrict themselves and to stay stuck into one dynamic and one stereotype. And it prevents people from being their most truest and authentic self because they feel obligated to stay small and play small because of other people's reactions, what people think of them, and how people assume that they should be based off of their personality and their usual norms. That's a problem. That's a problem. And if you are one of those people that do that, don't do that. Let people be who they are and give people the room to grow. Give people the room to express themselves freely and to transform, because once again, like I mentioned in my previous episode about outgrowing friendships, we're constantly transforming and we're constantly evolving. And so with that is change. People might start to like certain things or do different things, get involved in different activities that they maybe didn't used to, or are curious about certain things, and people, everyone, it's their birthright to be able to explore, to venture out, to really explore themselves and be their most truest self. You can't do that when people are out here saying, you listen to rap? I'm telling you, every time somebody says that to me, I want to slap them. But anyway, I digress. Rule number 3, success is measured by what you have or what you have accomplished. So In America, as we know, most women, I'm just going to speak from women because I am one. Everybody else, I can't speak for any other genders, but I'm going to speak from I know as women, there's this idea of success, right? And success is being married by a certain age, having kids by a certain age, and having a certain job. All of that is what a lot of people's idea of success is, right? If you are a woman and you're 30, 31, 32, in your 30s in general, and you don't have children, your parents, grandparents, friends, aunties, uncles, everybody's asking why you don't have kids yet, why you're not married yet, what's going on with you, what's wrong with you. And with that, people start to get insecure, right? When they don't have those things, they don't feel like they're successful. They don't feel like they're worthy, and they start kind of talking down on themselves. I need people to understand that success is what you define it to be. Your level of success is not someone else's level of success. What you measure as your successful state is not someone else's successful state. You know what I'm saying? You could be someone that doesn't want kids, but is married, has a good job, and that is success for you. You have the freedom to travel. You have the freedom to do what you want. You have your own business. You're making good money. That might be your success. For others, their level of success might be being married, being a stay-at-home parent, and they're rich and happy and full because that's what they wanted. That's their success. And so giving people the room to measure what success is for them is important. Just because you are married, have children, and a good job doesn't deem you as successful if you don't feel like you've accomplished what you've wanted to accomplish. Because if society's bar is here, but your bar is higher, then you haven't reached your level of success. And I just don't like the idea that, especially for women, value and success comes from children and marriage, because you're cutting yourself short. I had a friend, and I've actually had a few friends in this life, and I don't agree with this mentality, but I'm just going to bring it up. I've had a few friends in this life that they will freak out, or they have freaked out because they're pushing 30 or they're in their 30s and they're still not married. They want more children. They want this, they want that. Oh my gosh, the time clock is running out. I want to have kids before I'm 30. I'm still not married. I still can't find a partner. I'm this, I'm that. And I'm just sitting here like this. Oh my God, like calm down. Calm down. It is never that deep. I promise you on everything that I love, it is never that deep. But I can't even be mad at them because society has made them feel like they need to be married by a certain age, they need to have kids by a certain age, and that is success for them. I hate that that's a rule. Even for men, I think men and their success is a little bit higher than being married, have children, and a good job, being able to provide for their family. That's success for them. But in general, letting society determine what success is for you and what you've accomplished, why did we ever agree to that? Because by doing that, there's so many people right now that are depressed because they haven't met societal's expectations when it comes to success. Let me just tell you something. I am not married, but I do have a child and I have a decent job. I feel like I'm successful. Not as successful as I want to be because I have personal goals that I want to accomplish. I feel like that's still success, in my opinion. Please do not let society determine your worth. I also want to say that small wins in your life can also be success, right? Maybe you ran a 5K. Maybe you walked a 10K. Maybe you volunteered to a homeless shelter. Maybe you have fostered some children, whatever it is, that those can be successes. That can be success. I think that success is what you define it. So please do not let society define success for you, because why? Society limits us, right? Puts us in a box. But when we let go of that thought, we open our world up to infinite possibilities, because now there's more. There's more things that we can experience. Now I'm going to get into our next rule. I'm wrapping up rule number 3. Rule number 4, relationships have a timeline. Now, this kind of ties in with success a little bit, but not really. Relationships having a timeline. I think we all can relate to that. Whether you are straight, whether you're queer and gay, whatever you are, you've experienced this at least once. Relationships having a predestined timeline. If you're dating for these many months, you should be moving in at this time. You should be getting married, proposed. This is when you should be having children. this is that. And it's like a whole thing. Not only that, right? There's no room for unconventional relationships and things. For example, you might date someone and decide that no matter how much you love them and you want to be with them and all the things, you don't necessarily want to live with them right now. And you guys have been dating for 2, 3 years, which to other people, they'll think you're crazy because you've been dating this person for 2, 3 years and you're still not living with them. Oh my God. What is wrong with you? Right? Because I know if you're listening to this, you're probably thinking the same thing, like, that's crazy. But there are people out there that don't want to live with their partner. But with society, you should be living with your partner, especially after a certain period of time. What is wrong with you? You guys don't really love each other. That's what it is. Or you've been married for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever, and you still have no children. Why don't you have children? You should have children already. Or you've been dating this person for 2 or 3 years and they still haven't proposed. Why haven't they proposed? You should be getting married by now. I blame society for that because relationships should not have a predestined timeline. They shouldn't have a timeline at all. I think that both people should move on their own time. And you shouldn't feel forced to move a certain way because society shows us that we should be moving a certain way. If you're in a relationship with someone and you know yourself and you're like, I don't think I really want to live with any of my partners, you should be able to do that without being demonized for it or judged or talked about for that, right? You should be able to date someone for 8, 9 years because you guys both know that you're not ready for marriage and not having people talk a whole bunch of smack about it. These are just examples. You might be with your partner and you guys decide that you don't want to have children or you want to wait to have children and you shouldn't be nice for that. Even in queer relationships, I'll give an example, right? When I was dating my first girlfriend, we had been together at that point for 5, 6 months, and people were asking, why haven't we moved in? Are we going to move in together? Now, I was just still trying to process the fact that I'm dating a woman and I'm finally living in my truth, while everyone else is like, but you guys have been together. Why aren't you living together? And of course, in the lesbian community, especially, people are moving in with folks after month 3. I'm really not that type of queer, though. I take my time. I get to know you and build a relationship, a connection with you first. And also, I don't really have a strong desire to live with a partner because I desire personal space, you know? So while I love my partner, I also know that if we did live together, we would need a separate room to where we can like do our own thing and then come together at night and sleep in the same room or whatever it may be. But I know to some people, it's like, hell no, are you crazy? I have to live with my partner. We have to be up each other's ass all day. I'm going down a rabbit hole, so sorry. But it's just the truth. And so when we create these timelines and expectations on other people's relationships, why are we doing that? For what? Because it also, I feel like when you have pressure, it just causes pressure in relationships when you feel like you're forced to be on a timeline that you didn't even create. And it also causes tensions to that relationship, especially if both people decide like, hey, I'm feeling bad because I'm not ready to get married yet. Like, yes, we've been together, but I'm just not ready to get married yet. And why should that be a problem? Before I end with rule 4, I also want to say that relationships should be authentic. You should not be performing a relationship based off of a book of rules that don't exist. Enjoy your relationship and live in it authentically. You see what I'm saying? Why did we ever agree to that rule? That's so crazy. Okay, rule number 5, you can't change your mind. This kind of goes into rule number 1, when we're talking about seeing people in one way. But rule number 5, you can't change your mind. Now, a lot of times when people are in either they believe in something, they have certain beliefs and values, and then they change them. Oftentimes people don't take it well. So let's say you were a Christian, but now you're not a Christian, or you were this way and now you're not this way, and the people are calling you a hypocrite because you've changed your ideologies and your values, your beliefs, and you see things in a whole different way. Who you were before is no longer, and it was a fraud. You are a fraud. What? if you can change your mind on anything in your life, right? You can change your mind on what you want to eat, what you want to wear, what career path you want, what car you want, whatever. You should be able to change your mind with your beliefs and values without being questioned. The crazy thing about this, though, is that the people that are bothered by you transforming and evolving is because they're also afraid of change. Because I'm just like, why are you questioning what I am doing? I'm sorry. And why are you telling me that I can't change my mind? So I'll give it an example. I have shed many layers over the last few years. I mean, honestly, from 2020 into now, I have changed so much from what I think, how I live my life, who I hang around. Even my hair is different. Everything about me has evolved and changed. And I'm going to use my mom as an example for this, just for our example. My mom has a hard time sometimes understanding the newest version of me, of who I am. She remembers the version of me that was a people pleaser, a version of me that was trying to fit in a box of society, of even certain beauty standards that I no longer fit into anymore. I no longer care to wear a waist trainer. I no longer care to always look like a superficial person every time I leave the house. I no longer care to wear makeup. I no longer care to, and don't get me wrong, I love makeup, but I no longer care to wear like, just be this perfect superficial thing that society wants or even based off of trends. I am now freely and authentically myself. So yes, I have locks. Sometimes they're not retwisted. Sometimes I look like a tomboy and I'm wearing sweats out the house. I will wear a dress and no waist trainer on because I love my little pudge. Why do I have to like suffocate myself to death in a waist trainer just to be deemed as beautiful or the outfit to be fire? I mean, come on now. And so she'll make comments about that change. It's like, you used to do this more, you used to do that more. And I'm just like, but I'm no longer that person. And I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm also allowed to be like, you know what? I don't want to wear a waist trainer or I don't want to do this. But people are, I'm realizing, just afraid of change themselves. So evolution in general is scary. And you evolving and changing is also scary to them because they don't like change. But I also think society is to blame for that because society always wants to put people in boxes and you can't deviate from those things. You can't just be a free spirited person and think outside of the box and change your mind and do something different and be daring, that no, you can't do that. Oh my gosh. It's so funny because you just don't realize how deep like these fake rules play into our lives. And they're just so like deeply embedded and that we don't even realize half the time that we're following these unspoken rules. We should just be living our most authentic lives, being our truest selves and being free and being brave and just, yeah, beautiful humans, really. So, as I'm wrapping up this episode, we touched on 5 rules that we never agreed to. Okay, 5 of them, but there's many more rules that I didn't even touch on, but these are 5 that really do piss me off so bad. And honestly, if you're watching this video on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts, let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram at the Monice Hour or leave a comment on this video or any of the posts and tell me what are some rules, what are some other rules that I missed that you also cannot stand? What are some rules that you didn't realize you were living by that were unspoken that pissed you off? Because yeah, there are more and I know I missed a lot, but I feel like these are top 5 that we all can relate to. But I enjoy talking to you guys today. I will see you guys in my next episode. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Monice Hour. And on YouTube, you can watch this video at the Monice Hour as well. And we have Twitter at the Monice Hour. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.